What is electromagnetic spectrum? See, in last video we have seen all the components of remote sensing process. In that first component is the energy source. One example of energy source is sun. So the energy source will be emitting the energy in form of electromagnetic radiations. Electromagnetic radiations. So these radiations will be having electric and magnetic field. Okay. So the combination of the range of all types of electromagnetic radiation is nothing but electromagnetic spectrum. Regions of electromagnetic spectrum. See, the electromagnetic radiation in electromagnetic spectrum are classified into various regions based on their frequency and wavelength. These regions are gamma rays, X-rays, UV rays, visible light, infrared, microwave and radio waves. We will be seeing all these regions one by one in detail. The first region in electromagnetic spectrum is gamma rays. Gamma rays have the shortest wavelength, which is less than 0.01 nanometer. They are very high in energy and they are not being used in remote sensing very commonly. The second region of electromagnetic spectrum is X-rays. X-rays have wavelength between 0.01 nanometer to 10 nanometer. X-rays are commonly used in medical imaging and this region is particularly not effectively used in remote sensing process. The third region is ultraviolet radiations. They have wavelength between 10 nanometer to 400 nanometer. UV rays are commonly used in remote sensing for atmospheric application. One of the most important atmospheric application in remote sensing of UV rays is detecting the ozone. The fourth region is visible light. Visible light have wavelength between 400 nanometer to 700 nanometer. In that again it can be divided into three: blue, green and red. Blue have wavelength of 400 nanometer to 500 nanometer. Then green have wavelength between 500 nanometer to 600 nanometer and red have wavelength between 600 nanometer to 700 nanometer. Now this visible light, this is the only region in electromagnetic spectrum that our human eyes can detect. No other region in electromagnetic spectrum our human eyes can detect. Okay. So it is very important for remote sensing. There are many applications. Some applications are color imaging, land use land cover mapping, etc. The fifth region is infrared. Infrared have wavelength range between 700 nanometer to 1 millimeter. Infrared region is one of the most important region in electromagnetic spectrum for remote sensing. Infrared can further divided into three ranges. First is NIR, that is near infrared. Second is SWIR, that is short wave infrared. Third is TIR, that is thermal infrared. Now let us see all these three types of infrared in detail. Near infrared. Near infrared have wavelength between 700 nanometers to 1.3 micrometers. It is one of the most important regions in electromagnetic spectrum for remote sensing point of view. It have many applications. For example, it can be used for vegetation studies and water studies. The next is short wave infrared, that is SWIR. Now for this region, the wavelength range is 1.3 micrometers to 3 micrometers. This is also very important for remote sensing. It is very commonly used for geological applications. The next region of infrared is TIR, that is thermal infrared. It has wavelength range of 3 micrometer to 1 millimeter. This TIR region can detect the energy emitted by any object or the target. That is why it is very useful for urban heat studies. The sixth region of electromagnetic spectrum is microwave. It has wavelength range of 1 millimeter to 1 meter. Now this microwave, it has ability to capture data in all weather conditions, whether there are clouds, if it is raining, any kind of weather condition, this microwave region can capture the data. So this is why it is very important for applications in disaster management. The seventh region in electromagnetic spectrum is radio wave. So radio waves have wavelength higher than 1 meter. These radio waves, these are not being used for remote sensing, but one of the important applications of radio waves are telecommunication. Now, the electromagnetic spectrum regions important for remote sensing. There are certain regions which are important for remote sensing. These regions are visible range, then near infrared range, then short wave infrared, then thermal infrared, then microwave. So these have many applications as we have discussed in this video.